Hello. Thanks everyone for taking the time to join me today to talk about some great enhancements we've added to ClearlyIP's SMS feature set. My name is Corey McFadden, and I'm the Chief Product Officer here at ClearlyIP. As a housekeeping item, everyone is muted, but please post questions in the webinar control panel. We're also recording this for review later, which will be posted on our YouTube channel, which is one of the great ways to stay in touch with our company and get news about new products and updates. In today's webinar, we'll do a quick overview of ClearlyIP SIP trunking, talk about two new features, SMS to email and SMS webhooks, both of which you can start taking advantage of right away. I'll point out where our support resources are, and then we'll do a little Q&A. To begin with, for those who are not familiar with ClearlyIP, I'll do a quick introduction. Clearly is a diversified telecom solutions provider with offerings for resellers, integrators, managed service providers, as well as end users. We were founded in 2019 by a team including some of the leading business and engineering names in the VoIP industry. We're a growth company. We've completed 7 substantial acquisitions since our inception. And ClearlyIP is also an international company with operations in several countries and a workforce that is truly global. Our flagship product is Clearly Cloud, which is a full-featured UCaaS platform. The company's portfolio also includes SIP trunking, premise and hosted PBX appliances, including one designed specifically for the hospitality industry. In fact, our product ComExchange is in thousands of hotels, powering hundreds of thousands of rooms nationwide. We're also a manufacturer, producing innovative gateways, IP handsets, specialized appliances, and accessories, which we sell directly to our partners at great prices. We're a turnkey partner, offering really everything you need to make telecommunications work. There's lots of solution-specific webinar content on our YouTube channel, as well as our website, so please go there for more information and dive more deeply into everything that ClearlyIP does. But today, we're going to dive into ClearlyIP SIP trunking. As everyone knows, SIP trunking replaces traditional telephony with voice over IP and is the way you get service into your IP-enabled phone system, your cloud system, and everything else that needs telephony. Clearly has a full-service coverage platform across the US, Canada, and several other international locations. We offer a great deal of flexibility with multiple delivery options. The first is a channel-based solution that offers something resembling traditional telephony service with lines and unlimited domestic calling. So there's no per-minute charges. You pay a monthly fee by the channel. We then offer a more a la carte option where you simply pay by the minute for all inbound and outbound calls. There's also a hybrid model where you can have both types of call paths at the same location. All of our ClearlyIP SIP trunking numbers are SMS enabled and are natively integrated with most of our products, including Clearly Cloud, Clearly Anywhere, our ComExchange hospitality solution, and Business Connect. We also have a module where you can bring SMS into free PBX systems seamlessly. In addition to these, we have 2 new ways now to use SMS with your ClearlyIP trunking: SMS to email and SMS webhooks. And the great news, again, is that these 2 new features are available immediately at no additional cost. So let's dive into SMS to email to start with. Now, any SMS-enabled number can be configured to deliver inbound messages to your email, where you can reply and send directly from your email client. When you receive an inbound SMS, up to 2 email addresses can be set to receive those messages. Outbound is permissioned by sender, and up to 10 email addresses can be set in a group that will allow you to reply or send from a given number. And it's important to note that when you use SMS to email, you're not limited to that. This service can be layered with other Clearly features, such as Clearly Anywhere, Clearly Cloud, etc., and all on the same number at the same time. So email opens up a lot of possibilities for connecting people to SMS. Some use cases include basic conversations. You can reply very easily from any email client. You don't need an app on your phone, anything special. You don't have to learn a new tool. If you have a departmental number that you need to share with multiple people, you can direct that to a departmental email alias. You can use email tools like archival and autoresponders to leverage email to extend your SMS capability a little further. Another common use case that we're seeing is one where you might have a group of people sharing a login for some vendor website, and you need the ability to do two-factor logins and get messages indicating one-time codes and things like that. And this is a great way to share that with multiple people. So how does it work? Well, it's super simple. Someone texts your number and the message is delivered immediately to your email. It can't be easier. If someone includes a picture, it'll be delivered by MMS, so that is fully supported as well. Replying is also very easy. Simply reply from your email client, and anything inside the message body is going to be sent back. The subject is ignored, so you don't have to worry about that. And let's say you just want to send a message. You have a number that you want to text from your email client, could be at your desk, wherever. Just type the phone number at mysms.ai. This is a domain name that we have attached to the service. And you just put the domestic number that you want to send to at mysms.ai, and it's really, really easy. Now let's talk about SMS webhooks. Webhooks allow you to integrate something into an event-driven, web-connected platform. Our numbers can be set to trigger a webhook event on an inbound message, just like anything else. This can be used to trigger workflows inside other applications. Webhooks are natively supported by lots of off-the-shelf packages, including Zapier, Salesforce, Zoho, many, many others. We also use webhooks to integrate with third-party systems like 3CX. And again, SMS webhooks, just like SMS email, can be layered on top of other services. You don't actually have to just use this. You can use this with Clearly Anywhere, with Clearly Cloud, with free PBX, whatever, and it just extends that further. Webhooks are great automation enablers and have become one of the standards as far as event-driven integration. Typical use cases may include creating CRM records for messages as they come in. You could build your own SMS application, sending, receiving, etc. We have APIs for the sending. We have the webhooks for receiving. It's very easy to build. You can trigger team notifications via chat. So, for example, you want to notify a group of people that there's a message that has come in. You can do so via, let's say, Microsoft Teams or Slack or something like that. And we could also integrate with lots of off-the-shelf webhook systems, like the two I just mentioned. There's plenty of additional integrations we'll be announcing via webhooks down the road. But let me explain how they work. They're really simple. You basically put in a URL, and it receives an HTTP post in the event a message comes in. And the payload, as you can see on the right, contains a body that consists of a like a from, a to, the content, and then any media attachments such as photos and so forth. So if it is an MMS message, you'll see that in the payload, and then otherwise you get the message like this. So let's talk about how we configure these. Log into our trunking portal, navigate yourself over to products and services, numbers, find the number that you want to enable, and open it up. Scroll down to the bottom under the messaging area, and you'll see the little pencil icon. Click on that, and that'll bring you into the messaging campaign settings modal. In there, there's a little toggle that says Enable SMS MMS, and that's how you start by turning it on. Webhooks are the first thing below that, and you'll see that your options are either standard or 3CX or none. If you're just using email, you just leave this as none. But if you'd like to set up a webhook to some application that you have, put in standard and then put in the URL, and then you've seen the payload, how that works. I'll get also links at the end to our support resources so you have access to that as well. Let's talk about email. So inbound and outbound emails are supported. One is required. So once you can once you select an email, you then need to put in a destination for your email messages, or allow your mail to be coming from a group. You can actually do one or the other without both. So for example, if for security reasons you only want to receive inbound for a particular number, you can specify the recipient email address and ignore the allow email from. Otherwise, choose the email group that you've set up containing your outbound email addresses, and then you can use the SMS bidirectionally with this number. We have lots of great support resources available to expand on that very, very brief explanation. So we have a full article about trunking email to SMS setup, trunking buying and enabling SMS, trunking buying service and setting up outbound email groups. And then we have an entire article specifically about how to set up 3CX integration. All right, well, that was a very quick overview, and let's dive over and see if we have any questions. So far, not so much, but yeah, basically we have quite a lot of use of this today that's been quietly adopted by quite a number of our users, and we've had a lot of demand over the last few years for email to SMS in particular. Definitely one of those things that you have a lot of flexibility with that you don't with for the application. So you don't have to have a mobile app on your phone. You just have to have email. You can obviously sit down at any web browser anywhere, log into a web-based email platform and have access to send and receive an SMS quickly. So it's a very convenient way of accessing everything. We want a question come in about the requirements for campaign registration. Yep, it's the same as any other sending and receiving with SMS. So you have to do the basic 10 DLC campaign registration. So another question is, if an inbound text goes to a group of 5 people and one of those 5 responds with will the other 4 people see there was a response? Not necessarily. If you do a reply all and you have your email system set up in that way, you can probably do it that way, but our gateway will not, sort of broadcast or duplicate the messages for you. So that would really be a way, you would deal with that on the email side of the equation. Let's see. For the SMS to email, is it 2 email addresses per campaign, DID, or number? That's actually a great question. It's 2 email addresses on the inbound side. So let's say you want to set up 100 different people receiving inbound messages for a particular number. That's a little bit beyond our ability to manage that from a delivery perspective. So kind of like made a decision as to 2 being a reasonable number. And then anything beyond that, you can set up an email distribution list within your email platform. So that said, we can authorize a lot more email addresses to be able to send a reply. So if you want to give us that list, there's a way to manage that in the portal as well. Next question is, how are customers dealing with FTC regulations regarding opt-in requirements? Well, this is more of a question overall with SMS on our platform as well as anyone else's. It's one of those things where you from a conversational perspective, have the expectation that you'll be sending and receiving to people that are already pre-authorized, that have communication with you previously. And then obviously, if you're sending anything in an automated way using email, you absolutely have to make sure that you have opt-in and permission for sending those to your users. So in terms of replying and auto removing and so forth, when you get into things like automating with webhooks and using email, that's when you really have to be very careful to make sure that you adhere to regulations and requirements about that. So if you have any more questions, we can help you with that from a customer service perspective, but definitely not something that you get out of, at this stage, unfortunately. Is this set up to use Zapier as an API gateway? Absolutely. Zapier can set up a webhook inbound, so you can basically plug in Zapier's URL for receiving the webhook and then automate the next steps that come in as a result of that. The payload that Zapier receives includes the sender, the receiver phone numbers, the date and time the message was sent, as well as the payload, both the text as well as the message or the attachment if it's an MMS as well. So quite a lot there. I've talked very fast, but let's see if there's anything else we have that we haven't covered. Right. Yeah, I think that is it. We may have one more here. Let me just go in. Yeah, okay. Well, we'll give everybody just one more minute to see if they have any other questions, but more or less this is it. All right. Well, anyone who wants to get started with this can dive in right away in our ClearlyIP trunking portal. Dive in there. If you have any questions, reach out to us. We're happy to help. And then as far as support resources, I'll go back and put those on the screen one more time very quickly, just for anybody who wants to take note or send us an email. We'll be happy to get these links over to you as well. Our next webinar is set up for next week with Bob Webb. We'll be talking about faxing with our SendFax.to solution. Anyone with any final questions? Otherwise, we'll wrap it up here and thank everybody for their time. This was a really quick webinar, but really appreciate everybody who joined. All right, guys, have a great afternoon and thanks so much.